Okay, so I guess we'll just dive straight in here with. Do you guys have Netflix, right?
Yeah, of course.
What do you think this is?
Yeah. I didn't know. You guys play PS 4 or something like that?
Oh, you're not gonna do this right now. It's okay. We have PlayStation.
Have you seen the Bob Lazar documentary on Netflix?
About the
It's like the aliens and
Area
flying
51,
saucers.
right?
Yeah, Area 51. Bob Lazar.
I looked into it, didn't get anywhere like involved with it.
No.
It's pretty creepy.
What
it's
is it
pretty
about?
strange. It's pretty strange stuff. So
yeah.
It's Area 51 and like aliens. And stuff?
so like this guy Bob Lazar claims to be he was a engineer at Area 51 doing reverse engineering on alien spacecrafts and like talks about all this stuff
reverse engineering.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Like we have this technology,
like,
and we're gonna try to.
Yeah, like he had.
I do that too.
We have 2 UFOs in our like apartment. We're trying to reverse engineer it.
Yeah, he had the spacecrafts, is like what he's apparently saying, and he would take them apart, and they'd figure out how the propulsion systems worked. That was his
Take it
expertise.
apart.
That's what they were talking about. Like,
Yeah.
they
Like, do
said that-
aliens use bolts and screws like we do, or
I mean, I
Phillips
have
head,
no
right?
clue.
and
But, like,
Gorilla Glue?
but get a hold of this is what he was claiming, is that there was a antimatter reactor, something we have no clue about,
no, of
that
course.
would bend gravity in front of the spaceship to pull it forward,
Oh,
and
make it faster?
that's how it traveled. That was the
So there's
propulsion
no
of it.
In a sense, there's not really propulsion. It's just it's
Whoa.
free falling.
Well, no,
What it's doing is just bending gravity. So like kind of like a star. Like if you shoot something at a star, it'll bend around it from the gravitational pull in towards that star. That's what it's doing in a sense where it's making that pull in front of it to pull the craft.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's free falling. So you know how like the International Space Station like orbits around the Earth.
Yes.
It's not like it's like going one direction. It's actually like there's enough energy that it's actually gravity from the Earth is pulling this International Space Station towards the Earth. So it's actually like falling towards the Earth, but it's missing the Earth. So that's why it's
every
just
time?
Yeah.
it's missing the Earth. So that's why it's just orbiting
So
around.
every
Earth.
time it like gets closer in, it just like shoots out farther.
It's pulling in, but it's missing Earth. So instead of landing, like instead of free falling and hitting Earth, it's just missing it and just it's continuous.
So just kind of looping around.
Yeah, it's like I was like, oh man, that's free. They're free falling this whole time, and that's a lot easier to say.
What's
Oh,
that?
you're orbiting around instead of being like, oh no, you're falling towards Earth.
What's that like show or movie or something where he like keeps falling? You know what I'm talking about? He falls forever, keeps going through those portals.
Is that like?
Yeah, I'm talking about like he falls from the ceiling through the floor.
I can't remember.
Is it the game
what
Portal?
it is.
It may be like a joke video of the game Portal. Now that I think about it,
maybe.
Or that Vine dude that like does those like quick edits or whatever.
it's like the magic one.
yeah, the magic one. They're like
he's funny.
man, aliens, man. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
like
creepy.
talking about like conspiracy stuff, like about that stuff.
So do you guys believe in aliens? We'll go ahead and throw that out there.
Yeah, I believe aliens exist.
Yes, I do.
100%. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
we're not that important. We're like the only species
I mean,
in this
it's
galaxy.
the universe is so vast. There has to be something else
That
out
stuff
there.
kind of scares me because do you ever like
Yeah.
if you ever like like stand outside and look up in the sky at night and you're like, wow, that's huge, but then you
Well,
get
yeah, no,
deeper
I-
thoughts
That's how I feel in my bedroom too.
and I pass out.
I remember when we were talking about that at a bar downtown, and I honestly, it's like it's almost kind of scary to think of just how much is out there that's not us.
yeah.
You know,
There's
and-
too much out there.
It's scary to think there's like something that might be more intelligent than humankind.
oh,
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
sure
that's-
there is exactly.
We're not that
yes.
intelligent.
kind of
We're
frightening.
reverse engineering.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm pretty intelligent, right?
Yeah, we do. Man.
Yeah.
I'm just good enough. Let's say that.
But yeah, it's like stuff like that's crazy just to me. It's really like
I mean, do you think they like talk? Do you think they're like it's their
I think they
the
like
brain?
It's hard to
do they
think
have
of,
a brain? I don't know.
How tall are they?
Oh, 6'2".
Isn't all that Bob Lazar
just letting
thing?
you
Aren't they
know.
like
Yeah, and the Bob
allegedly like 3 feet tall or something?
Yeah, in the Bob Lazar show, he was saying that like the area that he walks in wasn't much taller than him. So he was saying like that they couldn't have been any taller than 3 or 4 feet.
So you're saying
we
I can
take
mess
them.
up?
Yeah,
an
we can
alien.
take
We
them.
throw some
no
hands.
So
problem.
me and an alien can go at it, and I'd win.
Well, it
I
depends
don't
on the
think-
weapons that they have. I mean, do you think like is there energy? Since
I mean, if they can use gravity to pull a spaceship, I'm sure they can.
I think I'm gonna talk smack to
They
an
can
alien
bust
and
me.
be like, "Oh, I bet you won't use that again."
so, but no,
I
like
think they
why?
should just
throw hands
straight
with
up fight. Yeah, no weapons.
Yeah, bro, no weapons, dude.
So, that conversation, do they have more knowledge than we do, or do they have less knowledge? Like,
So I was thinking
could
about
we
that,
be the
like-
most knowledgeable in the universe? Is that possible?
Do you see how you know how we view gorillas? Do you think aliens view us like how we view
well, no, like
gorillas?
something.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Something I was
maybe.
thinking about too that could be very weird is that maybe they're technically not smarter or more intelligent than us. Maybe they've just discovered different things. Like maybe let's say we've discovered how to use rockets, but they don't know how
They
to
don't
use
know
rockets.
how to use rockets. That's
Like
true.
to
Yeah.
them,
They're
they're
able
like,
to manipulate gravity. In that
maybe they've discovered gravity for maybe like on their planet, gravity is like the helium or hydrogen of
Yeah.
our planet.
That makes sense.
I wish
Yeah.
they can come over here and manipulate my gravity pull. I'm pretty heavy right now. So.
As if they can give me a little stretch of the
Yeah,
knees,
just-
you know?
No, make me
Yeah.
skinny.
now, do you think like how do you think the idea of aliens started? Like, who do you think started doing that? Was it the 1950s? Was it before that?
Well, like,
Like-
I
there's
think
like,
it's the boot hill.
there's like
Yeah.
it's
The boot hill of Missouri.
it's like there's like if you look back, you can see some ancient carvings that have
Yeah,
these
yeah.
spaceships and like these space beings.
Well, I've seen something like that in on some TV show I was watching. It's South America. They had these just way out there, like in Patagonia, and it was these rock formations where it was just like just random circles and lines. You don't know if it's somebody, like 100 years ago that just went out there and was bored, or somebody like millions
I'm
of
so
years
bored. I'm
ago.
gonna pull some rocks around.
Or I don't know. It could have been an animal that was trying to like mate or something like that. I don't.
That would be the greatest prank ever.
Just wait.
Like you
until-
manipulate something and you're like, you know what, this will be hilarious.
Yeah, 2,000 years
2,000 years later down the road. Like
That's a genius. That's
Yeah.
an innovative
But
genius.
if I just put these
Comedy
rocks in
god.
a circle, those people in the future will go crazy. And look at us now. We're
like-
talking about aliens.
It's like Stonehenge. They're probably like, it'd be great.
We're just
We
gonna
should
stack
stack
these
some
rocks up
stones and go back to
No.
town and tell nobody we know
Stonehenge
what
is
happened.
different though, man. Like
Who do you think Stonehenge was? Illuminati?
Aliens.
Aliens?
yeah, at this point,
Lazar.
we're just gonna blame aliens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it explains the unexplainable, right? I mean,
Stonehenge is really weird. It's a I don't know what to think about
Where's
it.
it at exactly?
England.
Yes.
Yeah.
England. Yeah.
England?
Yeah. I think.
No wiggles.
England.
It's northern England, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere in Great Britain.
Over there.
Somewhere
It's,
on that
it's
island.
not here.
Somewhere
That's all that
over
matters.
across the pond.
So do you believe in that Bob Lazar guy? I'm like I've
They
seen
were
like
so like
clips of him.
like the crazy story about him is that like when you first hear it, you're like, okay, Bobby, okay, you work there.
Oh, check this guy out. Huh?
But then you start listening to some stuff, and there's stuff like he talks about. He worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory, and they look into the documents, and they say he never worked there, but they found a newspaper from the 70s that said Los Alamos National Laboratory physicist Bob Lazar builds a rocket car from the 1970s, the time he said he worked there, but when they checked with Los Alamos, said he never worked there.
Oh, okay. So he's an
So it's
accredited,
creepy.
He's an accredited super nerd, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't he strap like a rocket engine onto his bike or something?
Yeah, onto his bike. So yeah, this guy.
A rocket
So he's
on
just
his bike.
So he's just
Yeah, like-
crazy.
Yeah, this
So
guy.
do you
is-
think like anything he says makes sense? Like,
But that's what I'm saying. Like the stuff like he said about that Los Alamos was like really like you're like, oh yeah, well if there's no documents of you working there, but then you look at the newspaper and it says he worked there in the newspaper, so you're like,
yeah.
maybe it's just they're covering something up. Maybe they're trying to hide, make him like sound like he's not credible at all.
Yeah,
But like,
maybe they're like making an example of him. You know what I mean? Like so
Why-
no other employees come
so
out.
why
He's
doesn't he
like,
decide
they'd
to
all
be
be
a
discredited and
whistleblower?
stuff like that.
He's the reason he said he wanted to talk about it is because like he said. So I mean, I don't know if I buy this one, but he said, oh, it's not about the aliens. It's about the science behind it and technology. I'm like,
Okay, Bob.
okay, Bobby.
but I mean, you do have to prove science at some point, and
oh, you have to
but
prove science about everything.
but then there's
no-
science that you have to prove that's our science.
Well, another crazy thing about the documentary is he, in the 70s or 80s, he described element 115 perfectly and like said they were using it and everything.
Muscovium?
Ew, I don't know what it's called now.
Nerd.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that like got...
But it wasn't discovered till 2003.
By the Russians. That's
Yeah.
why, that's why it's called Muscovian. Like,
Yeah, so he described it.
we're only able to, we can create it. It's not like
But that's what they used on the
was
UFOs. He
stabilized
said,
and everything, right?
and even and it was stabilized because it's not stabilized right now. We can't find a stabilized version of it.
So it's like an isotope.
Yeah. So what?
I don't even know what an isotope is.
It was an isotope.
Never mind. I'm trying to sound super smart here.
No, but yeah, like so he described it in this video, in this interview in the 80s and 70s. He described it and was talking about it, but it wasn't discovered till 2003.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
It's weird.
Well, it makes
it's
you
weird.
think, is somebody like taking the information, working on it secretly, working on it quietly for 40 years, 50 years, or 30 or whatever.
Is the government gonna like spy on him?
That's what I was gonna that's what I was gonna say. He does this interview. They talk about it because the word on the street is that he stole some element 115 when he used to work there, and he has it at his house, but he won't tell anybody.
That's common stuff you steal.
I mean,
I gotta sit.
You steal a golf ball, you steal element 115. Same thing.
Yeah. Got it under my bed. Yeah, of course.
So like, apparently he steals this, and
he steals.
Apparently,
That's nothing to like shy off of.
Yeah, but like he won't admit that he stole this. So they do this interview out in the woods, and they take
out in the woods, huh?
Yeah, they take their phones and they bury them, and all they have is their camera recording.
What time is this? What?
It's during the day.
Oh
No. What year? What year is this?
Oh, this was just pretty recent, probably 2017, 2018.
Okay.
So they bury.
That's creepy.
They bury these phones in the woods. They record it like they're just talking back and forth.
Nobody around. The FBI raids his business the next day.
Maybe he's for element 115.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because of that.
And he said that the FBI came there looking because they said that somebody sent some illegal paperwork because he also owns a chemical company that sends out chemicals everywhere.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's a real dandy of a guy. Sounds like a fun guy to talk to.
Strapped a rocket to his bike. What else?
Yeah.
Imagine kids strapping like rockets to their hoverboards.
Oh my lord!
Those are our future. Those kids are our future.
Yeah, of course. Well, before they die.
Man, that's really creepy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like they said, they came looking for like the papers, but he said that like ATF, FBI, like CIA, a whole bunch of agencies showed up, like 12 big Tahoes or SUVs show up and raid the building. So like just to look for papers.
Is he still alive?
Kind of weird. Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very old, right?
That's another. He's not terribly old. He's probably I would say early 60s, late 60s.
Early 60s. Okay.
But so like that's another thing he said though is he said
the FBI somehow managed to like listen
when their phones were off and buried.
Man, so I can guarantee the FBI is listening to this.
They're probably going to come raid us right now. Or his doors are going to get kicked.
Hey, we don't mind if the FBI sponsors us, We'll help you find terrorists.
FBI sponsors us.
And other people.
So yeah, so the FBI raids them, and then it's just crazy how stuff like that happens. And then he said that the real reason, he first did the interview like anonymous, like they blocked him out and it was just his voice, like edited voice.
Yeah.
But he said he then came out on camera because he wanted the security. So if something were to happen to him, people would be
they
like,
would assassinate him.
Yeah, like he wanted the
I'd be
security.
skeptical as well.
You think the government will assassinate us?
Well, no, not at this point. No.
Not like now that he's in too deep. If they did something to him, more people will believe.
Yeah. Everybody at first will just be like, and then once he gets assassinated, they're like, oh, okay. Something.
Do you think
you did it? You did it.
I'm curious. Do you think this is a stretch, but so's aliens, right? So he dies. He gets assassinated. Ghost. He comes back.
Oh God. So you're gonna.
Does he come back and haunt the idea for somebody else, and maybe it can go on from there? Do you think is that possible?
Are you asking if I believe in ghosts?
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm like borderline atheist, right? I don't believe in much of anything except for.
So you think a ghost is
science.
a soul?
No. So it's weird. I say I don't really believe in anything, but what's keep me from becoming an atheist is that I believe in ghosts. Yeah, so that kind of counter.
Yeah, so ghosts would be a soul, right?
Yeah.
And so that'd be a Christian-based idea? Do you think it's something like that?
I don't know. My mom's Buddhist and she believes in ghosts.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like it's a world-known kind of concept that people believe in ghosts and things like that.
Yeah, ghost is a very like popular. Like even in some cultures, like ghost is part of the culture. Like almost in like a like a Louisiana-based like voodoo like type stuff. Like ghost is part of their culture.
Yeah,
I kind of believe in it. And I live for that stuff. I love paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, like I would have my sister make sure she stays in the room with me when I'm watching like Ghost Adventures because I cannot watch any of that.
I can't watch it alone. No.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'll like curl up into a ball. I'm like,
what I always do is like I'll like sit upstairs. Maybe we'll watch like a few episodes of Ghost Adventures. And I'll be like, oh yeah, it's time to go to bed. I'll lay in bed. And I'll be sitting there with my eyes wide open.
So paranoid. I'll lay down in bed and I'm like staring at my closet. I'm like. That's weird because I'm like staring at my closet. I'm scared. I'm like, open. Don't open. Wait, open. Like
it's one of those where you have to lay on your back because you don't want to have your back exposed to anything coming up. So
no ghost will catch me.
You're like watching a scary movie. Does anyone else like sort of like close their eyes when something scary is about to happen?
Like a jump
you don't want anyone else to know.
100%.
You're closing your eyes.
Oh, my go-to move is this. I do the.
Oh yeah.
So
just anybody else is in the room.
If you're ever on a date with a girl,
cool.
you're just like, I'm playing it cool, but then some jump scare's about to happen. You're like, I'm gonna close my eyes.
Or you do like the kind of like lean back away from, so like their line of sight isn't, then you can like sit back there.
If I was with a girl and there's like a jump scare, I would back away from her because I know if I like get scared, I'm gonna swing at her. Then she's gonna cry and somebody's gonna ask, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, she's okay." What happened was we watched a scary movie and they're gonna think I abuse her.
We watched a scary movie, didn't we, honey?
Our stories don't line up.
But that's another thing. Like, why do women expect us not to be scared?
Yeah,
in those movies.
Like, where are we supposed to be?
Like I'm scared
anybody.
shit.
Or anybody.
Yeah.
You know, like why doesn't anybody expect us to be?
Yeah,
scared?
like,
you know, like
It's literally made to scare people.
Yeah,
those sort of things.
Like there isn't much out there. I'm
naturally
I'm a big
loud
scaredy cat.
noises and surprises will startle the human body.
Yeah, I'm a big scaredy cat. If something happens and I hear something, I'm like, immediately murder is in the building, in the house. How am I getting out of here? How am I defending myself?
I used to do this thing. I only told a few people, but okay. I close personal friends, and I know it's embarrassing. So every time I went into the bathroom, I would pull open the shower curtain because I'd be scared that somebody would be behind the shower curtain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not implausible.
I can
Surprise,
relate.
but I'll tell you. Like, oh god.
But no, what I want to do it just to be safe. But then what if somebody is there? I don't know what to do. I don't know.
You're like
your
a
next
deer in
step?
headlights.
But
frozen.
Yeah,
Do you ever like wash your hair with shampoo, but kind of keep your eyes open because you're afraid like there's like a ghost in front of you that's
It's
like
gonna pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, these ghosts aren't gonna get me by surprise now. As my eyes are burning, I'm like, oh, these no tears suck.
One of my biggest fears, and to this day, it's still a fear of mine, is I'm afraid like there's gonna be something in the toilet when I sit down. Like a snake or something,
spider.
Yeah, come up and like grab me by the family
in our
parts.
sophisticated plumbing system here. Not a chance. No, I don't think.
I don't know, man.
Maybe a spider from under the toilet seat.
Yeah, from under the toilet seat. That's what scares me. You know,
like stuff like that. Like,
but that spider is bold if it was to come out.
I mean, I've seen some stories, man, on like the news in like Southeast Asia, things like that. Now I know.
It was like pythons.
I know. But yeah, they like open up the toilet seat and a snake coming right up.
No. If that's the case,
usually it's snakes going straight in, but to have one come straight up is
large brown snakes. They're pretty big. That's nuts.
But yeah, it's just simple stuff like that to just like I don't know stuff like that.
Excites me. Like you know those like murder horror films. I'm like, it's cool. Like, but it's not like it's not my cup of tea. But like horror, ghost movies or paranormal, like ghosts and paranormal movies. Oh, like Insidious and The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm weak, bro. Like those are good movies.
Those are good
movies.
Okay, scary movies, they get me. Real scares, Honestly, those frighten me. Like
Yeah.
I honestly, the idea of me in my home by myself late at night, I've got to turn every light on everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what
And then I sprint up the stairs. I know everybody does it, but it's awful.
Worst case scenario, automatically, anytime I hear things, like I told you that, worst case scenario, hear a noise, family's dead, I'm the last one alive. If they come down the steps, I'm gone too. What am I going to do? Do I just end it here, or do I go out and try to get fighting?
Blake, are you there?
Well, what you do is you use the gravitational pulsions.
Oh, yeah. I got
around you.
You get the antimatter and
and you just storm right past that guy.
What about like Grant? Remember when we were growing up in our old house, and of course we had like a basement, and whenever we turn off the lights, and we kind of like scurry up the steps because it'd feel like something's like
Somebody's chasing you. You can all the time.
you can feel the hand on the back of your neck, kind of like stretching the back out like that, trying to run away from him.
I grew up in the like last few years of back home. I grew up in the basement, and being down there is awful. The laundry room is so loud.
But it's nice and cool down.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it's nice and cold, of course.
That's because of the
comforting.
spirits.
yeah, the spirits make even nice.
It's them ghosts.
Well, sometimes I think there are ghosts in my house. I don't know, man.
Well, all right, this is a crazy story about Blake and I. At our house, our old house we used to live at, we had this little fire truck. And it would go off and it'd do like the sirens like
like when you press
when you'd press the button. So we were sitting in the TV room and we had this little playroom. We heard it going meow meow meow, and we had friends over.
My God.
You guys hold each other like we go.
We gotta move immediately.
Yeah, it was, oh my God, it was whoa. But like we had friends over and we would hear this noise, and it was just like we did. It's hard to explain like how creepy it was at the time.
You had me at like,
But it gets
toy going off by
10
itself.
times worse. We go in there, take the batteries out, go back in the TV room,
it does it again.
and it does it again.
It sounds made
Swear,
up, but
swear. I swear on everything,
believe
it does it
The
again.
Annabelle doll comes out. Why you take the batteries out?
What is you doing?
No, I believe it. Like,
Bro.
I mean, there are so many things that could frighten me in my own home.
Do you guys have any ghost stories or anything? Like
Ghost stories?
do you guys have any other ghost stories?
I mean, before we dive into some scary ghost stories, you guys want to take a quick break, maybe get something to drink?
oh, 100%.
Yeah, because I'm
right.
thirsty. I'm very thirsty. All right, so I mean, I'm really interested in those ghost stories you guys were talking about before we took that break.
You want to listen?
I want to listen. I want to listen. You piqued my.
I think I have like
If
it's not
if it's
super
decent,
crazy.
if it's decent.
It's not super crazy.
No, we don't want to hear it anymore.
I'm hyping it up right now. But so this is like a couple years ago when I was in Vietnam. This, surprisingly, my mom's grandpa, my great grandfather, just passed away, and she tried to connect with him through a
like a
witch.
spiritually connect.
Spiritually connect with him through a witch.
A witch?
She's like, "Hey, you want to come along?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What are we doing?" She's like, "I'm not telling you." I'm like, "All right, let's go."
So like, whenever you saw this lady, were you like, "Oh, that's a witch," or were you
Like,
like,
did she have the hat?
No, I thought we were just at
Everything, or,
some
like, the
relative's house. We all look the same. And so, like, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, what are we doing here? She wouldn't tell me. Next thing you know,
Was she like dressed differently? Was she?
no, oh, the lady?
Yes. Yeah.
No, she looked like a normal person,
Okay.
Okay.
normal Vietnamese person. And I was like, oh, this is a cool house. So I'm just sitting there, and my mom's like bowing, and she's like saying all these like what I couldn't understand it really. And then there's like windows and doors open and everything, and I was just chilling there. And all of a sudden, wind starts
Yeah.
blowing everywhere, blowing stuff over. And I was like, what is there a hurricane or something going on? Or like a monsoon? And like, I'm telling you, like, it was so silent and nothing happened. And after she did some kind of ritual, there was like wind blowing everywhere, flying, every stuff's flying around. I'm like, what is going on? And from that point on, I was like, man, I guess ghosts are kind of real.
Dude, at that point,
weird.
it'd be like Roadrunner. I'd go, me, and you see a trail of dust, and I'd be about 4 miles down the road.
But like, it's not super. I've never really seen a ghost, but I've always wanted to kind of see a ghost. I was like, man, I'm not scared, but like, show yourself. And like that day, I was like, man, I kind of want to see a ghost. But nothing happened. It was just like a bunch of like wind, like I'm telling you, strong wind. It's like
was it like something
fan.
like where you like the hairs on the back of your neck kind of like stood up and you're
not
like,
really. It was just I just thought how weird it was, how it got super. I'm telling you, it's like an industrial fan blowing straight on you.
So do you think do you think your great grandfather was there?
I don't know, man. Like, she said that he wasn't there and he's like still roaming. She said that he was still roaming around Earth, and I'm like, bro, what?
So who was making all the wind?
Well,
She's probably opening up some kind of window or like
portal to the demons.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm your grandpa. But that was creepy in itself, and so I was like, okay, maybe there's something out there. That's why I'm not completely like atheist.
So what did like everyone else in the room think? Were they like?
Well, they're like it was my grandma there too.
Okay,
but like they're used to it. That's the stuff they believe in. Me, I'm this like Americanized Vietnamese kid that's just sitting around. And I'm like, la-di-da-di-da, nothing, thinking nothing of it. And all of a sudden, all this stuff happens. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah. No, I'd be creeped out.
Freak me out.
Yeah, I was like, can I go eat now?
I think the things we do are a lot different than the things our grandparents did. And I think anything involving our grandparents definitely, like, is sometimes out of the book. I mean, you can't question it because that's what they grew up with. But, I mean... It really is different, especially like spending time around them. It almost seems like anything happens.
And they're so old. It's like time stood still for them when I hang out with my grandparents.
I mean, we're gonna turn into that someday. But
I'm gonna be a cool grandparent. I'm gonna talk about how
I had
people
an awesome podcast. Thousands, millions listen to us, or we just listen to it a million times.
That's just like crazy stuff. Like, oh man, like I had a story that like actually. So my grandfather passed away. Like I think it was like 2003, maybe 2004. I was pretty young when he passed away. But so my grandma's house. There was this. You go up the steps. This was in Pennsylvania. You go up the steps, and to the right would be the main bedroom, and to the left would be another bedroom, and then there's a turnaround. Well, Blake and I, we would always stay in the main bedroom in the big bed, and you could look out the door and see the top of the steps.
Oh no!
And like this is something in my head that I'm like, did I see it, or am I just have I always thought that I saw it? So now I'm starting to believe it. Like I'm kind of making myself believe it, but like, so what happened was. We were laying there, and I see my grandpa at the top of the steps. I don't think anything about it. I see him kind of look at me, and like,
so you know what he looks like, and you remember what he looks like?
Oh yeah. I remember what he looked like. We visit all the time.
So what year is this? Like a few years after?
Oh yeah, this has got to be
a good amount of years, like 5 years, 6 years.
Like I was old enough to know like.
So did he look like how you used to remember
him? Looked exactly like my grandpa, like knew him to a T, like looked exactly like him.
I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah, I saw him at the top of the steps, look over at me, and just kind of like give me like one of those and walk down the steps.
Did he always do kind of things like that? Just like he gave you a little,
or like looking out for you?
He was always just kind of like there, like just kind of like he would like razz Blake and I. I mean, like, he'd like take stuff from us, like bollers and stuff like that. Like, he was like,
he bothered you guys?
No, like not like bothered. Like he was like a fun grandpa. Like would chase us around and like.
No fun. That's not fun to me. That's horrific. Are you kidding me?
A grandpa playing with you?
Oh no! I thought you were talking about like a ghost grandpa.
Oh no!
Can you imagine that? No. Like I'm trying to change. Next thing you know, I feel like my grandpa's hand on my shoulders. Like, bro.
But yeah, like I saw that.
Playing grandpa.
That was the last. Like that was it. And then I was like, ever since then, I was like, did I see it? Like,
have you ever heard a voice from somebody?
I wish.
No, I've never heard a voice.
Yeah, I've never heard anything.
I go crazy if I heard somebody whisper in my ear. Hey, actually, time out. One time when I was little, I think it was maybe it was a TV.
Yeah.
I ran to my bedroom. I don't know what I was doing. I ran to my bedroom. It was all lights are off and everything was off, and I heard like clear as day, just like somebody's in my room. Hey. And all the blood rushed out of my face, and I booked it to the kitchen. Mom, somebody said hey to me. I'm like, and she's like, well, they're greeting you. I'm just like, no. What happened was, I went to there's ghosts in this house. Mom, listen. And like, she just didn't believe me. Like, it was like somebody just said hey to me right in front of my face.
Like in St. Louis or?
No, this is in like at home.
Back home, yeah.
Yeah, in Farmington. Like, I was just like going to my room, and
But there was the off chance that there was a female. right? Saying hey to it.
I wish.
So he turned around so quick.
But like I said, nobody. It was just me and my mom in the house, and it was like a male voice.
See,
And I think the TV wasn't even on.
I feel like I make the noises in my head.
Probably.
Yeah, that's where I hear.
So do you
stuff.
think it's scarier to see something or to hear something?
Oh God. So. Yeah.
Oh man.
No. Yeah. Seeing things, if they're real or not, I still. Now I know it. Now I know that it was stupid. Back then, I was very little. It was my first plane ride, and going to Arizona, and I see a very large eye. An eye out of the window.
Eyeball?
Yeah, an eyeball out of the window. And I mean, I'm young. I don't know. I guess maybe 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe younger. I don't know. And I was freaked out. I took a photo of it and everything. And it stayed there, even when I moved back, even when I moved forward.
Was it in this photo or like?
Yeah, it's in a photo somewhere. I know it was.
A floating eye.
An eyeball, very large, like kind of made in the clouds kind of thing, but very descriptive. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It kind of started off with making me believe that maybe there is an extra something out there looking at.
Aliens.
Yeah, no. But it did frighten me. I didn't know what it was because you're way up in the air.
Yeah.
You're looking at the clouds. You can see anything.
Yeah,
you're also a
10
little
years
kid. So
And the clouds
yeah.
are looking back at you.
Well, what else they gotta do? So,
I have this really creepy story. Like Blake and I, we have a younger cousin, and
You're gonna tell me
So-
this kid talks to ghosts or something? Oh man.
it's well
close.
close.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Close.
Hold on, let me adjust my chair. Okay,
So,
I'm ready.
but there's actually multiple accounts of this story.
oh boy.
So, my uncle, I'll tell you the first part. Actually, I'll tell you the other part first. So they were
Always more.
they were camping. They were camping down at some creek or somewhere
Southeast
in
Missouri,
Southeast Missouri, where there was known to be Civil War battles back in the day. Well, they were in their camper, and they're like, he had to go pee really bad, so they were gonna go outside and go pee. Well, when my cousin, who's his dad, so like he's my like little cousin, and then so he's like, he goes out there with them, and they are like, yeah, we'll go pee real quick, and they start walking over to this, and my uncle's leading the way walking. He stops and goes, Dad, I don't want to go over there. There's a man over there. And my cousin goes,
He's like 3 years old.
yeah, 3 years old. My cousin goes, what? Like, what do you mean there's a man over there?
Oh, all right, you're right. Let's go back.
He's like, I don't want to go pee over there because that man will see me peeing. And they're like, what are you talking about? They go back inside, and he goes, what was he wearing? And he goes, well, he was wearing this old raggedy uniform, and he had this weird looking hat on, like a soldier, like a Civil War soldier.
Got the chills, bro.
It gets even crazier. So if he does that, so my uncle finds this old ancient like pipe from like Indians, like from Native Americans, in his yard. And this is this kid's grandpa.
Yeah.
Well, this kid goes over to his house too and sees that this is like separate days. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of time in between. And there's a third one actually too. I just remembered, but there's a lot of time in between. He goes into my uncle's house, and he's like looking out, and he goes, "Grandpa, who's that really tan guy out there by the bushes? There's somebody out by the blackberry bushes. Who's that? Who is that guy?"
It's just me picking blackberries.
Oh, it's just Ken.
That's just Ken. Like, he's like, yeah, he has like really long like black hair, kind of like shorter on the sides, and he's just like, he's wearing like almost like a little like leather thing. I don't know if he said leather thing. I don't know if he knows how to say leather thing, but like,
Oh, it's the village people.
so like that's kind of like, okay, that's weird. That's weird that he's out by that. And then at his house, he's afraid to go in the bathroom by himself. I believe it's the bathroom or bedroom, something by himself.
Bathroom
That's
scary.
Because there's a man in there that watches him.
It's just weird. Like-
Historical reference. Yeah,
That's
kinda-
weird.
That's frightening. Maybe he understands a little more than we think.
Yeah.
Like we do, and he understands like.
Like, are you
what-
peeing inside the house
What would
right
he
now?
have? Like, what would he have to gain from like lying about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's so young.
That-
you know,
that's
so he
and
has
that's what's
nothing.
crazy is like that he described like a Native
Very
American
descriptive,
and a Civil War soldier.
Yeah.
It's not like he was describing like a robot with like laser beams shooting out of his eyes.
Do you see that? It looks like a Megatron over there.
Oh man, that is creepy though. Like,
it's really creepy, like how stuff like that, and it's weird because it almost seems like all the stories that I have, and I'm sure the stories you had, were when you were younger.
Yeah.
Man, mine's not as crazy as yours. You're telling me
But
you had a
still,
cousin that.
But still, it's crazy. Like, maybe it's something to do with how the little we were, our minds are more creative or more developing, and we have that.
Like we have hyperactive brains.
Yeah,
as a kid.
As a kid, that kid, your little second cousin. Or,
Yeah.
So he can probably like imagine like stuff.
Yeah, they can imagine stuff.
Did he have like an imaginary friend?
I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue.
Did you have?
Did you guys have imaginary friends?
No, I didn't. No, I definitely. I mean, I had like toys that, like
I had toys that talked to me.
I had this Chucky doll.
They told me to do stuff.
Well, they made a few movies about it, but no, I've never had anything like that. Like really, like seeing directly
something
or a family member or anything like that.
Yeah, I kind of want to just be like, mess with me.
I've like
mess with my
besides like seeing my grandpa, like I've never fully like seen a ghost, but there have been places where I've gone and you can feel like
weird.
Something's like this is I feel really weird.
Sometimes for me, like
We're feeling like somebody's watching you.
yeah.
No, direct all the time. I feel like somebody's watching. Like
Sorry that I live with you.
no,
So you
like,
wake up in Kinston.
Hey, breakfast is ready.
no, like sometimes, like we were talking, looking out in the sky, UFOs. Honestly, like I think they're looking at me sometimes, because you'll always see like I guess it's a
People are
shooting
probably
star.
gonna think we're crazy.
I know.
I'll be mowing the lawn, I look up, he's son.
There's a helicopter. There's a plane. Yeah,
Superman.
it could be something different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I've seen a light that moves really fast.
Yeah.
And there's no explanation for it. And I don't know.
It's crazy. It's
there's a
crazy.
lot.
The stuff
Yeah.
out there. There's like also like what about like Bigfoot?
Okay, I don't know about that, man.
No,
I don't believe in Bigfoot.
How can you believe in ghosts and aliens but not Bigfoot?
You know what? You're
Yeah,
right.
what's
I
the
might believe in
difference about-
Bigfoot.
Like well, that's the thing I always get people.
I can
is,
believe in a
like,
creature similar to Bigfoot, but I don't believe
in creatures below, like way below.
Do you believe
the sea.
in Yetis like in Mount Everest ever existed?
Oh yeah, of course.
Maybe like a long time ago, but that dude's like done now because of global warming.
Drowned.
He's tan now. He's living in Mexico. He's a Bigfoot now. Or he shrunk to a chupacabra.
Oh yeah. No, a lot of things.
There's a lot of there's just a lot of things. There's a lot of unknown.
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
no. And
There's a lot of stuff. Like even though America, like United States, is so developed and such a like first world country, everything's developed. There's still so much space, like in the Rocky Mountains, Smoky Mountains.
Oh, yeah,
where like
no.
there's some like there.
well, there was a lot of
could be
native
something out there.
There's a lot of native things, a lot of native cultures that were here vast amounts of time.
I feel like we've explored like quite a bit of land, but like I said, what scares me is like in the deep sea.
well,
like
deep sea,
sea, yeah.
Like
and
you see like a creature with an eye on a rod, and
Like on
I'm like, what?
Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I'm like, what? How? Like, how did we kind of evolve?
It's like we've only what explored 3% or something crazy of the ocean. I believe it was like it's a really small number.
And then you just look up in the sky and like space is huge.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in that in between.
And then you look down and it's average.
Average guys for you. I'm glad you referenced that.
But yeah, it's just
I don't have anything. I don't have any other story. It creeps me out though, the like significance of facts in your second cousin's stories. That kid, I would not
it's
wanna
creepy
hear that,
stuff.
But like you
from
hear,
him directly.
you always hear kids like that do stuff like that.
yeah.
Well, their imaginations are.
I ain't seen that.
And we're adults now. We just look. We're kind of adults now. We look back on that and I'm like, oh man, that's stupid.
I can tell you one thing though. I'm gonna have to watch a few episodes of Family Guy or something before I go to sleep tonight.
Yeah, there's no
No way.
Sleeping peacefully
No
at night
way.
now.
Oh, of course.
Man,
Dude, that's just crazy stuff like that. It's just and it's like it's all around us too.
I
It's
just like
crazy.
have that fear that sometimes I'll be laying in bed and like if I open my eyes, like there's gonna be someone just standing there.
I always have that
Like,
thought
oh my
too.
God.
If I saw that,
no, of course
if I
not.
saw that, I honestly think that I would probably die on the spot.
There's many times.
I'll just close my eyes, close them right back.
I'm dead. There's many times where in the middle of the night, and it's like pitch black in my room, and I look over my door, and I like see like an outline of something.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
like
uh-huh.
like this is when I just woke up in the middle
Oh,
of the
I
night.
remember we had a moment like that where I think it was Zach standing in the.
Better be careful with the story you guys are talking
What?
about earlier.
Yeah, no, you remember that, right? Zach was standing in your roommate. Zach was standing in your doorway, and you didn't know. But he was really just like in the bathroom across the hall, looking in the mirror or something like that. But you saw him a lot closer, and it was really dark. I remember that.
He was
story.
like sleepwalking or something.
Yeah, he was
said
sleepwalking.
He was sleepwalking. I woke up because
so
my
he
door
didn't
was
have any
open.
light on.
That's kind of scary.
And he was just kind of
Sleepwalkers
looking,
scare me.
Yeah.
and he was just looking into the mirror, but there was no light.
But
and
you
so
just
I-
remember that. That's creepy.
Oh, it'd be throwing hands. Something would go.
What if you woke up and I was just standing there by your bed? asleep?
I'm telling you,
I
I would
locked
die.
my door
I'd
at
be
night,
dead.
so
I would be dead.
no.
There are some times though, like, have you ever like gotten like so creeped out you kind of get hyped up and you're like, all right, I'm just going balls to the wall. If something comes at me, I'm just going. Like, you know what I mean?
You're just swinging.
It's like you have so much.
That's why I have a golf club every time.
You have so much adrenaline pumping. You're like, all right, if something comes down these steps, or if I wake up and something's there, I'm just swinging. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going.
You know what my ammo is in case I ever encounter like a ghost? You know, whenever you're walking around campus and those like pastors give out those mini Bibles.
Yeah, the mini Bibles.
That's my ammunition. Like if there's like a ghost, if I ever encounter a ghost, I'm throwing those little Bibles at them. And it'll hurt them spiritually, I guess.
Spiritually, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's so, I don't know, talking about just, it's like creepy. But
Like I said,
it's interesting stuff.
I love paranormal stuff. I would love to hear like many other people's stories about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we
anyone
could
else have any
do that. Yeah,
stories,
just
just
let us
DM
like if
us,
anybody,
let us know or
DM
something
us,
like that.
message us,
Email,
comment, anything
mail,
yeah,
at
MySpace.
Yahoo or at
Snail mail. Yeah,
at
of course.
AOL. We have Hotmail.
We're not pilgrims now. Come on.
No, we're on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Check it out. Talk to us. That's why we're here. We want to talk to everybody.
Subscribe, like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Drop a comment about my hair.
Yeah, let us know how we're doing too. So let us know if you like the setup we're rocking with.
Positive, negative. Yeah, we're all.
If you're
about
negative, we
And if
will
we should
hate you
vote
for the rest
Sean
of our
off.
lives. So just kidding.
that. And won't allow you to watch it anymore.
So,
All right. Yeah. See you guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
yep. See ya.